Hello, everybody. Well, whatever. I do want to apologize if my audio sounds off. I've been trying to fix that issue for like the last day and a half, I think. And I still have no idea why it's doing that. Um, I think it might be because for the longest time I wasn't logged into my antivirus software because I forgot the password, but I recently figured it out, and I'm thinking maybe that's it, because antivirus stuff really just chugs a computer at times. So I think and I hope that's it. So again, I am sorry if I sound weird. But anyway, today we are going to be building a, I think like an industrial style house is what I'm gonna go for. Lots of platforms, just a good time. Alright, so I think 1, 2, 3. Probably should have done this before I made the walls. I hope you're having a good day. I do have to say, trying to stream is very interesting because that yeah, because I've noticed I have a very chaotic, I guess for a while, means of building or just gaming in general, because do I like that? The longest time I haven't been, I don't want to say into gaming, but it's just been a lot harder to, I guess, enjoy. Not really sure what the word would be. But I am trying to, I guess, force myself to play and hope something clicks. Because obviously, if you want to be a streamer, you gotta stream something. And I am not. There's no bathroom. Okay. And I can't do much else besides games. I would eventually like to do like shows or like just something like that, but right now I'm not at the capacity to do so. Yeah, I'm not at the capacity to really like there we go. One of my ideas is, for instance, it's very weird, but I enjoy Little House on the Prairie. It's been, I used to watch it with my mom. It's just, you know, a show I like, whatever. And I have a friend who has seen some of it. I've seen like the whole series a few times. I have a friend who's seen some of it. I have a friend who has never seen any of it, but they know it exists. And a part of me wants to like just watch it with them, and then you get like 3 different perspectives, and you just, you know, you see the different takes on it, because you know, it looks like a very wholesome, like, you know, a family friendly show, and then you get to the nitty gritty of it, and just there's a lot of people who die, there's a lot of people who go blind. A lot of people who go insane and, like, you know, kidnap children. In one episode, you see a woman trying to break through a window with a baby, and let's just say there's a lot happening in that scene. One of my favorite episodes too. That's probably not funny. What else? I just like watching reactions, I've noticed. I'm a very big spoiler person. I love looking up spoilers. I don't care if I get spoiled, because to me I like to watch people's reactions to that stuff. So let's say I am with somebody and we're watching, I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and I know this really big shocking elimination is going to come, and I know my friend has been like talking about, oh, they love this one contestant. I would watch them like react to what's going on, because I just find that so much more enjoyable to see people's like shocked faces. I've been, will this fit? Oh, just barely. I've been watching a lot of Harry Potter reactions, and I've noticed, I've noticed a few things with people, and how well they take in information. The first is, you can always tell who is a book reader and who is just a movie watcher. 'Cause obviously they're all going to be just movie watchers for the most part, because if they're reacting it for the first time, and if they already read the books, they're not. It's not reacting to the first time. How am I going to do this? I think like that. I don't even know what's going to be up here, to be honest. So there's a few instances in Half-Blood Prince with Snape where if you look at it and see what he's doing, you could tell. Some people have kind of got this. No, oh goodness, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, spoilers for a very old like movie series that technically isn't. Just a side note, I am so disappointed in J.K. Rowling. Like seriously, um, she had the world in her hands with Harry Potter, and then she had to turn out to be such a horrible, horrible person. But I hate to say it, but I kind of see it as, a lot of LGBT people still go to Chick-fil-A. So, like, me enjoying Harry Potter is my Chick-fil-A. And, at this point, I already have had all the stuff for years. It's not like I'm giving her more money at this point. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, Jesus. Alright. So, in Half-Blood Prince, if you watch it, there are a few times where Snape shows his true colors, and he always has this like, I guess like I'm too cool for school kind of persona about him. But then you look at it and then you realize, no, he's absolutely terrified of what is asked of him. And the first is in the beginning when he makes the unbreakable vow, and you could tell that he doesn't want to say, I will, and he accepts the deal, but he has to. He has absolutely no choice in the matter, or else he would be exposed right then. Oh goodness, what can I use? The second and a big misdirect is on the astronomy tower when everybody's up above and Harry's below, and Snape points his wand at Harry, and like he kind of like shushes him, like puts his finger to his mouth, and is like Snape does to his own mouth, and Harry's like does it because I think at that point he's like, I have to trust Dumbledore, and that means I have to trust Snape. There's that. A little bit before that, before Harry and Dumbledore go to the cave, we see the short scene where that doesn't look good. Let me see. Snape is talking to Dumbledore and saying like, you're asking too much, and I don't like. Does it ever occur to you? I don't want to do this anymore. And Dumbledore's like, tough. And then obviously there's that brief hesitation right before Snape, does the deed. So there's that. And then I wish this came in a closed door format. It would look so much nicer. And something smaller so I can actually put it here. But whatever. And then in the eighth movie, there is one scene where you can really tell if somebody's paid attention during the entire, basically, plot of the thing. And that is when Harry is in the forest, he's going to Voldemort, and he grabs the Resurrection Stone. And this might be, or he discovers he has it. And this might be the movie not explaining it the best, but in the book, it's pretty much like you to me at least, I pretty much understand that this doesn't bring somebody back. It's just like a ghostly form, like kind of how it went with Goblet of Fire when he was dueling Voldemort. You would think after like 10 plus years of playing this game, I would know the layout better. Anyway. And that's what the Resurrection Stone does. It brings people back, but more in like a ghostly form. And I saw so many people confused about that. And they were like, oh, well, he can just, if he gets the Resurrection Stone, he can just bring everybody back and, they can all just fight together. And, it's like, no, not really. Because if they did that, then basically the entirety of everything would just be kind of pointless. Like if they, I think that those movies would have completely just, and books would have completely bombed, and no one would have liked them if in the end everybody was somehow brought back. Because that's not, like, why would you want to do that? Because it makes like your the sadness and all that stuff just totally invalid, and what you went through and what the characters went through. So it does that. I'm on a Harry Potter tangent, so I'm just gonna keep going because it's something I can talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is the anger, or not the anger, I guess the disappointment people have with the the movies and what they took out, what they changed. I think, for the most part, the first four were okay. Obviously, four was originally supposed to be a 2 movie. So they're supposed to split into 2 movies since there's so much in that book. But for what they shoved in there, it was okay. Fun fact, for those who don't read and just saw the movies, after, I think, Dobby is in every single book except for the first and third, I believe. And he's a pretty major player in the 6th book, The Half-Blood Prince. In the 4th, he's the actual person who tells Harry about the gillyweed, not Neville. So, just fun little fact there. So the 5th movie is probably the one I've seen the most. I used to play it on repeat all the time just so I can, just for something to play when I was like playing games, um, just to do. Because back then it was my parents' house. They had a DVD player that I could just rewind. You know, just yeah. Um, do I? There we go. In the Order of the Phoenix. How do I say this without sounding like I'm an idiot? Alright. When I first read the books, I never paid attention too much. I remember I even did I don't have it anymore. I did a book report on the Order of the Phoenix when I was in like 7th grade, and I got so much wrong, to the point where I think in my book report I was like, I think Sirius was still alive after I was done for some. I don't know. Yeah. But I watched the movie. I loved the fight scene between, the kids and the adults. I thought that was so cool. Just everything about it. And then later I went back and I reread, and I even used an audiobook, and I realized just how much they cut out of that story. Where in the end, it's like, I think Order of the Phoenix is the longest book, but besides the part 2 on Deathly Hollows, it's the shortest movie. And the part they cut out that really, it was 2 parts. When they went to St. Mungo's and you got to meet Neville's parents and you got to learn really what happened to them, except for, like a 2 sentence explanation in the movie. And you got to really meet his Neville's grandmom, which, fun fact, if you rewatch the first movie when Harry is at the train station, in the background you see Neville and his grandmother. They're like right near the train and she's like helping him get on. This little fun thing. And then at the end, the battle scene with all the kids, with the Dumbledore's army, excuse me, they cut out 99% of that, because in the movie the kids have like a few scrapes and like bruises, and it looks like they've been just really like roughhousing outside or something. In the in the book, those kids get effed up, like really bad. If I remember correctly, I think Neville gets his nose broken. Ron gets almost like, I think it's like almost choked out by like a flying brain with like tentacles or something, if I remember. Ginny gets her ankle broken. Hermione, I think, like almost died. She gets hit by a curse, and she's like after a while she has to take potions, and she's like in the hospital for a little bit. And just like a bunch of other stuff that happens to them. Like, I think it's like a 3 or 4 chapters where they're just trying to fight and just getting their like getting their asses handed to them. And I know they're talking about, there's been talks about doing a actual series, which I don't, I'm honestly, I think with how Harry Potter is, if it wasn't, so non-liked at this point, I think that would be a great idea. And also, I think Harry Potter is perfect for an anime because of all just the spells and everything. And there's like One Piece and Bleach and all those things that they can really take their time and tell stories. And I think Harry Potter is perfect for that kind of treatment. Um, for the Half-Blood Prince, honestly, I think more backstory about Voldemort, because they skipped a lot of that. That would have been great. That would look nice. I want this to be kind of dungy. And maybe I'll keep that just in case. In the book, when Snape kills Dumbledore, there is supposed to be a battle that happens where beforehand Harry, so the Dumbledore's army, they have coins that they kind of like you keep in their pocket, and then they can like, if like let's say Harry needs somebody's help, I guess he holds it or something, and it warms up, and other people can feel it get hot, and they realize, oh, somebody needs help, let's go help them. Harry does that, and when he's chasing Snape, he runs through a battlefield, and everybody is, fighting and stuff. And then later he goes to, like, the same, everything's pretty much kind of the same-ish happens. There's no scene where everybody holds up their wands or anything like that. I think that, but there are people around Dumbledore's body, and Ginny takes Harry away and takes him to the hospital wing. That's where we see that Bill Weasley, who was only in the 7th and 8th movie, which just we meet Bill and their brother Charlie, like books and books ago. We meet Charlie the very first book, but he's completely omitted. Bill's pretty banged up. That's where he gets. There's like a 2-second line in Deathly Hallows where he's like, "Oh, I got attacked by Fenrir Greyback, who low-key's like one of my favorite villains, even though in the movie they kind of like ruined his, his character doesn't have much to do. But I like, he's a werewolf, so. But in the Half-Blood Prince, Fenrir attacks Bill, and we see, like just Bill all bloody and gross, and like, he's not doing good. Where am I going? Okay, here we go. And I'm trying to think in technically Deathly Hallows Part 1, I don't think there's much difference that I can remember. They explain a little bit more stuff, like obviously the Death Eaters would know why Harry is not in Hogwarts, but for Ron, and also Hermione, because she's quote unquote mudblood, which but for Ron, the Weasleys have a goblin or troll in their attic, and they just basically dressed him up in Ron's pajamas and kind of was like, oh no, he's Ron's horribly sick. And that's how they got around him not being in Hogwarts. Let me see what else. Oh, sorry I'm saying so much. I'm just thinking. when they go to Xenophilius, or Luna's dad's house, something I'm very disappointed that they cut out, was, I think while he's making tea, they go around and they're just looking around and stuff, and they go into Luna's room, and it's mentioned like it looks dusty, it hasn't been touched in a bit, but on one of the walls, Luna painted a mural with all of them, her, Neville, Ginny, and yeah, I think that's it. And around it are like these like little gold beads just surrounding it that says friends. And I think that was just, sweet, and it really tells you what kind of person she is. Um, which, fun fact, because they don't say it, um, Harry's daughter, Lily, I think her name is, whatever. Yeah, Lily it is. Her middle name is Luna after Luna. So you could tell, like, just how much, you know, they mean to her, and how much she means to, like, at least Harry and all of them. Let me see, what else? Sorry, I have iced tea right here. In the 8th movie, I can't remember much about Gringotts or anything like that, so I'm just gonna skip to the meat and bones of it, which is the battle. So there's a few key differences in what happens during this time. The first is how Fred dies. In the movie, it's off screen. We don't even see his face fully, technically, when Ron goes over there. It's clear that it's a twin. So we go through the room requirement, which, by the way, if you've noticed in that movie, Draco grabs Goyle, who ends up dying, and he also grabs Blaise Zabini, who was never really a character to begin with, or anybody of threat. The reason they did this was the person who played Crab got into a lot of legal trouble at that time, and he just wasn't allowed to be there, because it's Crab who actually dies in the book, not Goyle. So, fun fact about becoming a person, and a horrible person at that. But right after they get through that, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are running down the hallway, and I guess, what is it? What's the word? They meet up with Fred, who I don't, I think, George isn't there, and Percy, who earlier in the book, in the books, Percy's a complete a-hole. He's, like, just the worst. They really downplayed how bad he got, and I would honestly say if he wasn't if he didn't, like, check himself, or, he probably would have ended up almost as bad as Umbridge, if not worse. So that's just, I'm saying something. But I don't know what windows to use. But anyway, so they run into them, and Fred and Percy are fighting Death Eaters. So they all join in, and it's like, there's a battle in the hallway, and then there's a giant explosion. And the dust clears, and it says in the book that it's still probably the most scared Harry has ever been in his life. And then you just hear Percy screaming about Fred, and that's when he dies, and we actually see it in the well, don't see it, we experience it in the book. Um, and then they eventually go down and they go to which in the book when they go down the boathouse they're under the cloak of all three of them. Um, so they never actually fight, never actually go through stuff like that. But from what I've heard, and it might be, I don't know if it's fully true, the reason they cut out the death scene of Fred was his brother, which I don't remember their actual names in real life, so I'm just gonna say Fred and George. His brother was, oh wait a second. They had to keep on doing reshoots of the scene because most of the time you don't get stuff on the very first take. It's like one or two or a few. His brother was starting to have panic attacks because he kept on like having to quote unquote see his twin die. And I think it got to the point where they decided it's not worth it. Is that two different? Okay, only this side. It's not worth it for the amount of stress they're putting the one brother through. Let's just cut it, and that's why we don't have it. There's gonna be giant windows in this bathroom. Oh well. With Snape and Tonks. Snape, oh my, no, sorry, Remus and Tonks. In both versions, their deaths happen off screen, which, small side note, in Half-Blood Print, in the original, it's Tonks who finds Harry on the bus, not Luna. Tonks has a pretty much, she has a bigger role to play in the books. Which, I guess everybody does technically besides Harry. I'm trying to think, anything else after that? No. So, let's get to Harry comes back to life, and Hagrid is carrying him across the bridge. J.K. Rowling has stated before that is why Hagrid survived the entire time, because she always had a vision of him carrying Harry's supposedly lifeless body back to the castle, which I'm not going to get totally into it. I love Hagrid. He's one of my favorite characters. I think he got done so dirty by the other characters, J.K., the movies. They had such a chance to make such a badass character, but they just either removed him completely or they made him like, I don't want to say like a little like whiny, because in the books he has definitely a reason to be upset, but they kind of like in Order of the Phoenix there is a scene in the book where Umbridge comes with orders to take him away, and he fights him off with McGonagall's help. McGonagall gets hit, and she gets like 4 stun like jinxes to the chest. And also you have to remember in the also just in the books, everybody's a lot younger than they look and are in the movies. because James and Lily, who are the same age as Sirius, Snape, Lupin, and all of them, they were just 21 when it had Harry, and so like most likely they died when they were about 22 years old or like around there. Um, so like everybody's really just in their mid to like late 30s or like early 40s, and then McGonagall is probably like in her like 60s, which like in Wizard Age that's nothing. That's just that's pretty young. So just keep that in mind. But she gets hit, and I think like Hagrid, without really any magic, he knocks one of the auras out. He grabs Fang and he escapes. And then later in Deathly Hallows, during the second phase of the fight, which I'm gonna get into that because there's massive differences. Oh. Um, can you hear me now? Do I sound? That's fine. Sorry. I don't know if I've been talking this time and no one can actually hear me. I don't mind having this conversation again. Hopefully, I can make it a little bit better though. Also, hi, Cross, if you can hear me. Hey, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me and or the audio of the game, I mean. Okay, that's good. Alright, I just wanted to make sure. Because weird, before Cross got here, it looks like there was like one viewer or something. Um, but it still says like there's three on my end, but it's not telling me who the other person is unless they're viewing privately, which I don't understand why. Um, but I guess I've been talking to myself about Harry Potter for the last half an hour, and I feel like either I'm getting used to lag or it's a bit better than it was yesterday. So I'm just. Oh right, okay. That seems like a lot of effort though. Unless I don't know why they wouldn't want to log in and follow me. Yes, it's riveting stories to tell. Alright, so pretty much I've been just talking to myself about Harry Potter for the last, 40 minutes. Oh well. You got a point there. Although that doesn't help me when I'm trying to build my community. And, become the next ninja. Although, unlike Ninja, at the moment, this computer cannot handle The Sims 4. Oh my god. Cannot handle Fortnite. Which, I'm just gonna say, if they had, like, different downloadable modes, like, if I could just download the, even I really can't play it because of copyright, I would download the, festival, just that, and play it on stream. And unless I'm hoping, once I can figure out my other computer and get that fixed, I can start using that, because obviously that's going to be a huge game changer, because that thing can run, it should be able to run pretty much anything, and OBS and Twitch and all that stuff at the same time with no issues whatsoever. But, so, Drag Pup, what I wanted to do earlier, which is also weird, I'm talking about you, Andy. I saw this short on Instagram where somebody made, like, I guess it's almost like they called it a particle accelerator on Minecraft. And I was gonna do that. And it's basically a little, like, circle thing you make with a minecart and the rails. and you just go faster and faster until it just launches you halfway across the map. And I wanted to do that, but for some reason I just couldn't get it to go fast enough. So if we would have played, and I got that to work earlier, I was gonna just launch you across the map. So, the more you know. Oh, have you? But I know, I'm not... The whole thing with Redstone is pretty confusing to me. I know, like, I've seen people do, amazing stuff with that. Like, literally make... working computers and Game Boys in Minecraft, and the best I can do is turn on a lamp. So, fun fact, I have auto mod set to like, I think level 3 right now. And apparently the word dummy is flaggable. So that's interesting to know. But I know from watching other streamers, sometimes weird stuff gets flagged. I guess they're like, oh, you use the word dummy, you're calling me a dummy, and not just using it as like an actual term. But because no one really cares about Harry Potter, well, you're the only person here at this point, besides Cross, but he's just like watching, he's not listening, I don't think. In One Piece, at the end of the chapter, there's a mysterious person who's waiting for the Straw Hats and everybody to come to Elbaf. And everybody is assuming and thinking that it's I think it's how you say it, Scapper Caban. Basically, Roger's like right-hand man. So everybody's kind of assuming Luffy is going to meet him when they get to Egghead. Oh, I'm not doing good with this. When they get to Elbaf. Also, we get confirmation that Lilith, because I think Andy, that like all the Vegapunks are like made to represent different emotions. Like Lilith was evil. I think York was gluttony and all that stuff. But when they leave, Lilith starts having the other emotions. And people are saying, well, most likely what happened was because she got away from Egghead, and or something like that happened, something like that. I don't know the exact reasons, but she's now like, in a way, a full version of Vegapunk, which we find out in another chapter. Vegapunk knew everything that was going to happen. So he knew that York was going to betray them. He knew like the Covenant was going to come, and he planned for everything. And then he basically wiped everybody's memories. So they were acting like this was the first time them finding anything out. But I know everybody's super excited for Elbeth. I am as well. Well, that's true. Um, or because I was talking about Harry Potter, it's kind of like what Dumbledore did, because Dumbledore knew for a while that somebody was coming to kill him, and he kind of planned everything around it. Also, they announced in the live action One Piece, it seems like the season 2 they're just doing filler arcs, or like not filler arcs, but like I think they're doing Reverse Mountain. Um, they're not doing Alabasta in season 2, and a lot of people are like upset about that, but also people are saying that enough there's enough content there to do its own season by itself. Which, I mean, I guess you could say after Alabasta, it's pretty much the same with every arc or saga in the universe of One Piece. This is really just... I was gonna say also, you know, like they usually after every arc they have like a little feast. It was kind of funny because in Luffy's eyes they failed the mission because they weren't able to save Vegapunk. Uh, and like you know he's very sad. All the others are like super just sad about it, and Lilith is just like, stop it, and then they all get better. I don't. I haven't looked into it, but I don't think it's necessarily like that with live action One Piece. I feel like because they covered like a lot in the first season. I don't know unless they did like one like thing an episode because they went to Barati. They did all this other. They did a lot of stuff in the first season, and it's like I don't. I feel like they would have to at least do like. You know, I feel like that would be at least like a 20 episode season, but I could be wrong. It's just weird. I do find it weird that there's so much One Piece. Like we have the original show, we have the live action, and now we're gonna have like the remake. Uh, which you know I'm happy about, but where do you draw the line in terms of how much is too much? Oh, goodness. Well, like I said, with the live action, there's no way they can ever like they're never gonna finish it. Cause like by the time they would get done, either they have to like mush way too much stuff together and it would be horrible, or you know that Luffy's gonna be like whoever plays Luffy's gonna be like 60 years old by the time they actually get to the One Piece, or Wano at least. Um, and then we don't know when the remake is happening or when it's starting. But my fear is, are they going to, because of how I mean, like, let's be honest. The original anime, they are sometimes a little bit slow. Will the remake eventually catch up to them, and what does that mean? Like, will the remake just stop being made for a little bit, or how is that going to work? Uh, I just hope. That's true. Um, but I was reading something yesterday, and it was talking. People are just saying what they hope to see the Straw Hats get, um, like what power ups. And I never thought about this, but I would love to see Chopper get Conqueror's Hockey. Like, just. Uh, what kind of muffin? Is that brown? Yeah, it's brown. What the hell? It's fine. Yeah, I'd like to see Chopper get Conqueror's Hockey, because just that small little, like, just fur ball, and just with his mind, he can just knock people out. That sounds more like a donut, to be honest. But either way, I'll take it. Oh, Andy, so when you get here, recently, in the last few days, I put more music on my phone, and I got a bunch of new One Piece openings and instrumentals. I got let me see if I can remember them all. Share the World, which I think is your favorite, if I remember correctly. Share the World. I got Jungle P. That looked nice. Bon Voyage. I don't think I didn't get Crazy Rainbow Star. I probably should have. That's a good song, honestly. Like I said, I got a bunch of instrumentals, and I got this one. They did like 2 or 3 albums where the Straw Hats and other characters sing songs. I got Robin's one. I wanted to get Frankie's because, in the right context, Frankie can have a great voice, but the song just wasn't good at all. Let me see. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Do I want that? Hmm. Oh, goodness. Alright, so... that's fine. So, I think of you, you. 'Cause, 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 Let's use a dark wallpaper for this room. Okay, cool. Alright. Oh, I need to fix that. Okay. Alright. Alright, so I think I'm going to call it a night. Usually around this time is when the dog starts bugging me, so I can let them out for the last 2 times. Because in 10 minutes I'm going to have to let her out again for some reason. She just likes doing that. But I want to thank you for being here. The stream was definitely better than the one the night before. So yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow to do more of this house around 8 p.m. Or maybe like 8:30. I'm still trying to figure out what's the best time for that. But alright, I will see all of you. Have a good night, okay?